mysteries. Stay a while and share your thoughts. Help us break down this mystery. Grab a seat. We guarantee you're in wonderful company, unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E. Unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E.
Are we live? Okay, I don't see anything on the screen. Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to the Mystery Crimecast. I am Mr. E, joined by Mrs. E and Auntie. I'm not seeing anything on my end. I guess my screen.
There you are.
Okay, there we go. Okay, we are here. Great. Well, happy to have everybody in. We had a little technical issue with the echo and stuff on our sound. If you ever tried doing this, sound is the biggest challenge on this kind of thing. Without a doubt.
Gone.
Oh, and now I'm disappeared again.
What is going on?
I don't know. Is it is it the new background? Maybe the little fuzzy?
Here. Let's try. I'll try to get rid of it. Maybe it's
there
the
you are.
How weird. Jammers. I'm just kidding.
Jammers.
The jam.
Let's try that. Maybe I've got too much going on.
Well, you just don't know. Things couldn't get much crazier. So who knows? Maybe it is the jammers.
That's right. Well, first of all, let's say hello to Breezy. Breezy came out strong tonight.
Yes, she did. Thank you so much, Breezy, crushing on the Sandman. We really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. We had been gone this weekend, so it's been a little while since we'd been able to do a stream. We went and visited up in Knoxville to start looking at colleges with our son, and had a great weekend there, and checked out another college on the way back, kind of more like a drive-by kind of thing. And so, of course, all kinds of things have been going on. This is going to be one of those kind of shows tonight where we're going to be talking about, I think, a variety of different topics. But before we get into all of that, just want to say hello to everyone. I see we've got several of our mods in. Let's see, Lady Tit for Tat and K-Mac. And I think one of our new mods, I think, Marlena's here tonight too. Thank you so much. And so great. We appreciate the help that they're doing. I don't know how we got so lucky with our mods, but we've got great mods, and I didn't even understand what mods were for when we started this, like what the purpose was. I didn't even understand it. So we've only been doing this for 4 months, and so we're kind of learning as we go in a lot of ways. And so I know a lot of you too may be new to us tonight as well. We are now over 5,000 subscribers, which is unbelievable to us. So thank you so much for being here. I think a lot of you are finding let's see. Oh, I want to say thank you to Kim G, who just became a member. We appreciate that. And Karen Wynn also became a member. Thank you, Karen, for doing that. All of that support just helps us to, it's positive reinforcement. Helps us to want to keep doing these. And so we're glad that you're appreciating us. And we certainly appreciate everybody being here. I think this is, I think one of the reasons that the channel is kind of growing so quickly is just because, we hear the feedback. We know that you appreciate the lack of drama, the trying to be as focused on the facts as possible, and not getting caught up in the rest. So this is the welcome to Mr. E's Crime Dogs that Mrs. E puts up. And so I know we've got a ton of folks in here already.
Why don't you say hello? I think your lighting's messed up, so I'm going to fix your lighting.
Oh, it may not be on at all, actually.
It's not. That's why I'm going to do it.
Oh, you're going to take care? Yeah. Okay.
You go ahead and say hello to everybody.
So we've kind of got I'll just kind of give you an idea of the directions we're going to go tonight. Of course, we're going to talk about Seth with the timesheets. That huge news. We're also going to talk some about what we kind of gathered and gleaned from Chris, who kind of broke his silence with YouTube and spoke for a little while. There's been a few other streams and shows that have come out that have had some interesting information. One of those was the lab that I think we put up on our community page, and then also Jennifer Coffendorfer got a little bit to talk about with her, and then of course Nik The Hat and his information that we got today, and then some posts and things that he's done over the last few days that are of interest to us also. So that's kind of the plan for tonight. We're gonna also, I think you're all probably going to want to discuss some of these things. We'll answer any questions and as much as we can here. Yeah, this place is packed already.
Yeah, we are zooming.
Yeah, Monday night. It must be the night to go. Mrs. E, are you okay?
Yeah, there's something that you might need to look up. Okay. But
I'll say some hellos and welcome.
Yeah, you do the hellos for a second. I'm gonna turn this camera off for just a second. Go ahead and take the hellos.
Okay. A big thanks to Ginger Girl. She's gifted 5 memberships. So if you get a membership from Ginger Girl, please say thank you. We are so appreciative of all our new members and all of those that gift for new members. We love you all. We've got a lot of people in our chat. Little Miss Sharon from Australia, we recognize you. R. Taylor, hello. Graham M, allegedly with Brittany J. Lisa B. Always. Carol loves embroidery and crime shows. Love your name. That's a great one. BJ Boop, Angie Best, Sherry McConnell, Fun Summer's Truth. Hey Jude, Forever Nikki's mom, War Eagle. Welcome everybody. We're so excited to have you. I think we've got Nik The Hat in the chat as well. Welcome, Nick. Reality Wins, Sunset Gazing. Hello. We've got people from all over just jumping on as we speak. Pam Oliver, hello. Rock and Rhonda, Sam's Pretty Paranormal. Hello, Carol. We've already said hi to you. Tanya Delaware, War Eagle. I can't even keep up with all of them. So many people. And then Tiffany, thank you. Tiffany just gifted a membership. If you got a membership from Tiffany, please say thank you. Hello, Closer to You. Donna, Trust the Journey. Want to be sleuthing something. That's a great name too. Bear 90. Dispatch Crystal, Reality Wins, Stephanie, JJ, Kelly the OG. We've got a lot of people. Car Guy, hi Car Guy, Laura Cobb, Samantha Serrano, Nola's mom. We've got so many people with us tonight. Polly Pepper. I can't even keep up, guys. We have a new member, KC. Thanks for joining us.
There we go.
You guys are crazy tonight. What is going on? We step away for a second, it goes nuts.
It is. It's going crazy. I can't keep up. Hi, SS Butterfly wild. Kisses. Yes, we had 6 new memberships gifted and then a new member.
Oh, I'm way behind on the chat. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do
so many.
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, I know. We just appreciate it. We know this. We hope we're building a community here for sure. Making a lot of friends and connections, and we're all kind of united in this interest in Sebastian's case, really. And there's been so many interesting developments over the last couple of days, even just in the last few hours. It's been really wild. We keep thinking that this case, there's not going to be as much to talk about, but I don't think that's going to be the case now for a few months. I think things are going to be ramping up here for the next month or two at least, and then we'll just see where things go from there. And I think it's positive. I think it's a positive ramping up overall. Do you agree?
I do agree. Do you mind if I do our thank you video and our new member video real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay. And this is to thank you for all the gifted memberships. And also for the new members, welcome to Mr. E's Crime Dogs. We call ourselves Crime Dogs because our very first member coined that, because we used to have dogs fight behind us.
Yeah. In the guest bedroom. We'd have the bed behind us and the puppies would just go crazy.
Yes.
For some reason, that time, us starting a show, they were just going wild.
And normally they wouldn't.
I know. And they're not usually like that, but for the show they would go nuts.
And it looks like we've got Nick in here. Hello, Nick. Welcome. I'm sorry, I'm way behind on chat.
Yeah,
But thank you guys.
Oh, Nik The Hat's in here tonight.
Oh, my stars. You guys are really
Thank
amazing.
you, Izzy. That is so nice.
Thank you so much.
So we had 11 new memberships tonight so far.
Oh.
Well, if you guys got a new membership gifted, please make sure you say thank you. And to Izzy Girl and to Tiffany and Casey and everybody. I'm sorry, I can't even keep up with it. They're going away faster than I can see them. And I think we've slowed the chat down a little bit.
Great.
And also,
okay. Yeah, that'll help a little.
Yeah, we've slowed the chat down a little bit. I'm going to try to catch up here. So
we've got the UK here. We've got, geez, there's so many. There, Australia, the UK, Ontario, Canada, lots of places here throughout Tennessee, Kentucky, lots of places.
And yes, K-Max says, as a reminder, we try to keep our chat kind and respectful. And we hope that you'll abide by those rules. If not, you might get timed out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we try to just go with, if we can, if you're new to us, basically, we don't mind saying nice things about creators, or neutral, but not derogatory and that kind of thing. So it's kind of like, if you can't say something nice, we'd rather not say anything at all.
Oh, we've got another new member.
Thank you, Triggered. We appreciate that. And that's very, very nice of you.
Nick says no name zone.
No name zone. Yeah, that's right. That might be the safest way to go in a lot of ways. We're still kind of trying to navigate that, and we really wanted to stay so focused on the case. And we've seen other creators get so distracted in these kind of endless wars you can get drug into with other creators that to us it just makes sense to try not to criticize other creators and that kind of thing. So it's hard to do because people do have very strong opinions and that kind of thing. But that's been our goal, to try to keep focused on Sebastian and the parents, and then any other potential suspects that are out there.
Right. And we're also kind to each other in chat. Yes. It's okay to have differing opinions, but we just do it in a respectful manner.
I saw allegedly with Brittany come by there. I think I might have missed the comment.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi, Brittany. Welcome in. She's got her great show that I usually catch it late at night. I don't know if she streams other times of the day, but I usually catch her late.
She is a night owl.
yeah. And she's great. I end up driving a lot late at night, and that's usually when I catch her, is like a 30-minute hour drive if I'm at nighttime, and she does a great job. Great
welcome
her personality and show there. So kind of wanted to go over a little bit sort of timeline, a bit of what we've kind of happened the last few days, and
to kind of explain our thumbnail. Right?
Yes, to explain the thumbnail, because if you weren't here, this may not make a lot of sense to you, but if you were and kind of been following, it depends on if you're on certain social media platforms, you may or might not understand where we're going with this. But we were on last week, and we basically we wanted to just do a little investigation into AtNight Media and Investigations, because we knew literally nothing about them at all. So we kept hearing these things like, that, this was all a scam, this was a con, be careful, and all of this. And I don't like to be conned or scammed, and we've all been around a little bit to know that these things do happen. So we thought, well, let's do a little dig and do some research and see what's here. And because anybody can put up a website and look like they have a business. I want to thank Walter's mom there. She says, thank you for keeping it classy. We try to do so, and we appreciate you, Walter's mom. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry. Oh, and we've got a new member also. Thank you, Alicia Hot Wheels, for becoming a member. I think you've been a member in the past. I think
maybe renewal.
Yeah, I think that's a renewal there. But thank you so much for hanging in there with us. So anyway, that was the goal of that last stream. And I love doing a good research dig anyway. And so it was very interesting, and it really kind of boiled down to Nik The Hat, the majority of it, because he was the most interesting person in that company, and seems to be the one that kind of leads the charge on whatever that organization does. And so that's what we spent a lot of time doing. And we came out of that feeling like, well, no, this is a real investigative group. And they do have skill sets to offer to the table that could be beneficial in the case. So in that sense, we thought it was all a net positive that they're here. And so we basically did the dig because we didn't know and figured everybody else might like to also. And that all, I think that episode went over pretty well with everybody. It was a lot of information I didn't know for sure. And then, Mrs. You help me out here. What was the next? So we did the show, and was it the next day?
Yes.
So the next
Can
day,
pull that up?
yeah.
I've got that ready.
So the next day, Nik The Hat on X.
No, this is on YouTube.
Oh, this was on YouTube. Okay, so on YouTube shares the video, and we hadn't reached out to Nik or anything. I had never talked to him or anything like that. So whenever you're talking about people in this kind of form, you never really know how things are going to land. It's got to be a little uncomfortable to see that people are doing a thing about you. And our goal, of course, was not to do character assassination. We were just doing research. We just wanted to see what his skills were and all of that. And so I was glad to see that that he was okay with that and shared it. And that was very kind of him to do. He's got a huge platform and all of that. And so I was glad that he was pleased with it. But that was surprising that that made us laugh. It's always kind of it's always a little humbling or something, because we just almost don't even understand how we got to this point where we've got all of these subscribers and 400 people in our chat. And
Nik says Nik told us.
Oh, your mom found us. Well, great. Okay, so maybe
awesome.
maybe we know her by another name in our chat or something, perhaps. I don't know. Well, that's great.
That's
great.
Hysterical. And quick thank you to Fixin2. Fixin2 sent us a super sticker.
Oh, thank you, Fixin2. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you.
Oh goodness. Okay.
So anyway, so we saw that and we thought that was great. And then what was next? Was it?
I've got a picture. I've got the play-by-play.
Yes.
So then, we went over to Twitter, and
oh yeah. So we go over Twitter and we see that Dog the Bounty Hunter.
No, that's not yet.
No.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. It's the same one.
Yeah. Dog the Bounty Hunter is now following our X account.
Our tiny X account.
Which I think we have 100 people on there or something. And it was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that this is like this. And so I don't know. It was exciting. It was fun, and we thought you guys would think it was fun too, because we're, there's each one of these things kind of made us smile and laugh when it happened, and it's just kind of hard to believe that in our couple of months here we've somehow gotten on, Dog the Bounty Hunter's radar, which was wild to us.
On a side note, I'd never watched Dog. Sorry,
We
I
hadn't.
Oh, I'm a huge dog fan.
Yeah, Auntie had watched all of it.
Oh my gosh, I've probably seen 80% of them.
Well, we had not, but apparently with Sling TV, there's a dog network. So you can watch Dog 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I need to watch some oldies.
Yeah, we binged like 5 of them last night or something. And so
and
now
the kids love them too.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Yeah, it's good. It's great. And
it's very satisfying.
I'm understanding now why people were so enthusiastic about him. It's his approach. There's kind of like they've got this relentless kind of approach to their job, and it's also with a good heart in all of this too. And it's and they've got these creative techniques and everything. So I totally understand after seeing it why everyone is so excited to have Dog coming to town. And so anyway, him following the channel was just it's just unbelievable. So it was just
also
great.
Nik followed as well, and it looks like we have a new visitor.
And Hong also from Nik's channel, who I think you guys are friends and work together, if I understand correctly. Maybe. Well,
you did the deep dive. You tell us.
Well, Hong was the hardest person to research.
Right,
actually.
That's true.
I had a very hard time finding him, and so I actually just ended up not really doing anything about him other than I think I mentioned his name.
And then also, real quick, Tony. Thank you, Tony.
Tony, I don't
welcome.
have to do that, but thank you so much. So I think things are going in a positive direction for Sebastian and justice and everything right now. You can feel it, right? Mm-hmm. You can feel it. You can feel the energy shifting. You can just tell. I know everyone loves Hong because he is hilarious. I mean, we certainly laugh at all of the videos, and you guys are very funny.
Very entertaining.
It is very entertaining, and so it's all there's it's been good to have a little humor in this whole situation. So glad to have you in here, Hong. We appreciate that, and look forward to seeing your next video. You are a very funny guy. It goes over very well.
And then,
so
do you want to go to the next?
Yeah,
slide?
let's go to the next. So then the next thing.
Do you want to show that clip first?
Oh yeah.
I have to get it. You'll have to talk for a second.
Let's see. So what she's going to. So if you were here for the last stream, there was a point in the middle of our stream where we started speculating about who possibly might have put up the $500,000 retainer. Because that if you go to their website, that's, they're kind of it seems to me the way it's organized is there's a silent partner, there's this One World Media, and then there's the AtNight Investigations, and what they require for their clients, and it seems like they do stuff like crisis management and things like that, kind of really big tasks for looks like their clientele. They want to be that kind of that one percenters. And they require a $500,000 retainer. So we started, thinking who might that be? Is it an organization? There's a lot of celebrities in Middle Tennessee. So we had thought, maybe it was a country singer, or maybe one of the actors. There's actually several billionaires that live in Nashville. You never know who might have just caught onto this story and has become emotionally attached to it. At one point, we had even, speculated maybe Selena Gomez, because Nik had a connection to her when she was young, and so we kind of talked about that. But what Mrs. E is putting up now, this was the first first theory, and this was really the original theory we had. We actually weren't even sure we were going to talk about it on the stream.
We weren't planning on it. No.
Yeah, we weren't. Do you have it queued up?
I've almost got it there.
Okay.
Hold on.
So she's trying to get to that part of the stream here in just a moment, and we'll see where that
it's under our who is Nik The Hat. So I had to mute it so that we wouldn't. Okay. So let's see if I can. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and make it big. Hold on. Okay. And I'll hit play, and let me know if you guys can't hear it. Okay.
Now, so as far as can you trust, okay, the way I will view.
See, you guys are smarties. You guys are smarties.
We weren't even going to say.
We weren't even going to say this. No.
So. Well, okay. So,
no, it's okay. Let's keep going.
Oh, was this a joke? Wrecking Ball is perfect.
No.
Was that a little pun? Was that a hint?
I was saying I really like that song. It's just
that's hers, right, Miley? Wrecking Ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys are smarties because you're I kind of put it together pretty quickly.
We weren't even sure we were going to mention that or not. Okay, so we will, I guess, talk about it.
Well, I'm just okay. Let me handle this.
Okay.
All right. So when I said, what I thought Nik was up to, I said, okay, so who could have put up? Who has the means and the connections to get this company involved? And
What you know about the company?
The means being a $500,000 retainer. Well, if you guys remember who reached out to the Lore Lodge, which was the brother of Miley Cyrus. Now, this is just me, speculating. So please, total theory speculation. But I thought that they would definitely have, that family would definitely have the means to be able to do that. And they seem very interested in this case. However, Mr. E pointed out that we have tons of celebrities and people with the means that live around here. So it could be somebody completely different that has the means or whatever. It was just a thought that it was possible.
I think they've lived in Hendersonville at one point. I don't know if they still have.
We just thought it was a possibility, but whoever it is wants to remain anonymous, or their name would be out there. But it was just it's funny that I'm seeing people come to the same conclusions I did. So that I thought that was kind of fun.
And he does know a lot of Uber celebrities. I mean, like the Taylor Swift and
Selena Gomez.
Dogg and Selena Gomez. I mean,
Selena Gomez is definitely good.
I think this.
Okay.
I mean, so that was our. So that was our first theory, and that's the one we had actually talked about a few times privately. and we weren't even thinking we were going to talk about it. I saw somebody else in the chat though suggest Dolly Parton. That's a great guess too. Dolly is another person that is certainly known for her philanthropy. But so then shortly after one of these posts on X by Nik, then there was this. And I don't know how this one had us really going. So Nik says, I feel like every 4 years I reunite with this gal. We're coming in like a wrecking ball. All right. Miss me some Miley Cyrus. So that was hilarious to us. And so
Are you?
Nik says they'd never disclose the client unless the client allows it, but you're in the circle, not many fish in that pond. So this was totally up, so this was really, I knew, so we knew it was kind of like a little nod from Nik to us, and maybe a joke to, maybe not. We didn't know how to take it exactly, but anyway, it was made us laugh, that's for sure. And what's that?
Oh, just having some fun.
Okay.
Just read that.
Nik says, and Miley does know of the case. That's a fact. Okay, good. Yeah, I actually did a little research on Miley today just to see what like her philanthropy. And I mean, you go to her Wikipedia philanthropy page, and it is a lot. It's almost hard to think of a charity she's not been involved in. Like every hurricane, AIDS, and Make-A-Wish, and lots of homeless charities and things of that nature, and just PETA, just about everything you could imagine. I think it was 2014 or 16. She was like the 13th most philanthropic celebrity, and I mean, just millions and millions of dollars. So certainly has a giving heart, which is wonderful, and further. So anyway, if she is a guardian angel here in this situation, we are all very thankful to her, or whoever it is. I think we all here are grateful to whoever that person or group is, and we hope that you all pass along that things, because there are people. I mean, there are a lot of people here that tens of thousands of people whose hearts are broken about this case, have felt hopeless about the case, have felt that Sumner County is corrupt, that these people are going to get away with this, that the case is cold. And so many, a huge percentage of our audience have a child with autism, a grandchild with autism, a sibling, something like that. And that's why this case has grabbed a hold of them in such a way. And so whoever the benefactor is, please, Nik and Hong and everybody, pass along the word that we are extremely grateful for that, because this has pumped in new life into the case. In a lot of ways, it started with Lore Lodge a few weeks ago, because that exposed a lot of information that we did not know, and really did an amazing job of cataloging all of that open source information. So they were great, and then that kind of leapt everything forward. And then we had the work that Seth has been doing with Betty and Tony, and doing the vigil and the gathering of voices. Then we had the FBI reward, and then we have Dog and Nik and their whole team getting involved. And so, the pressure's heating up, and it doesn't look like it's stopping. And so, it's almost kind of like, it seems like we've got a avalanche kind of effect going on. And I think it's re-energized people that were kind of starting to lose hope on it. And so, it's amazing. It's a great thing, and everything's good news. And my understanding is, I think Dog is doing some press this week, and he may be on Coffindoffer, Jennifer Coffindoffer, who we mentioned a lot on this channel. She's a retired FBI agent, and is a great resource to learn about how FBI works. And I've learned a lot from her. And so she, that'll be great to have her there on Friday. And I think Nik mentioned in his stream today that they may be doing some other press this week also, maybe even with his lawyers and that type of thing. So the more media, the better. You can't have too much. And, my theory on this from the beginning with the press is the importance of it is that these investigators are human. And as long as this case is unsolved from the sheriff level up to FBI, as long as this thing is unsolved, it's a black eye for the people who's got that case sitting on their desk. And public pressure matters. Nobody wants to be shamed and embarrassed and feel like they failed. And so I think that's part of this. I think that's part of why it's helpful. And plus, you just never know who out there may have seen something the night Sebastian went missing. You never know. The abductor may have had a flat tire or had to stop and make an emergency stop, or if Sebastian left alive, maybe he tried to escape at some point. We just don't know. You don't know what an incident or event anyone might have seen. And they just don't know about the case, because there are still a lot of people that do not know Sebastian's face or this story. So more press is always great. Oh, and Tony Mathis says that Court TV Thursday morning. So
Awesome.
a lot going on.
Do we have a time?
Is that you, Tony, on Court TV Thursday, and Seth? Is that what we're thinking?
When Seth says a durable shoulder too.
No, Seth is here too. Okay, welcome, Seth.
Welcome.
Yeah, so that's good. So so we're excited about all of the press that this thing's about to get.
Do you want to keep going with our timeline? Because this is the part that made you laugh.
It all made me, actually, each one of these made me laugh, because
Friday was an exciting day.
It's just like every hour or two, Mrs. Z is like, oh my gosh, come look at this. And
yes, it was. Oh, and so then this one made me a little nervous.
Yes.
Okay, 7:30 and Dog and Bruce Castor. Awesome.
Oh, yes. Bruce, I think, is one of the attorneys, I believe, affiliated with.
I believe he was the former attorney general for Pennsylvania.
Right. He's kind of part of the whole team, I think.
You're right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I remember that name.
Okay.
But
this one made me a little nervous, but.
Yeah. So we had, then the attorney followed, and you hope that's a good thing. You hope the attorney followed, and it's a good thing. So, and Joseph Lesniak is affiliated with the organization also.
And we go into detail on the last stream.
Thank you, Hey Jude. Keep up the,
yes,
keep
I love
up the
Hey
great
Jude.
work.
Not that that's like one of my favorite songs too, so that doesn't hurt.
So let's do the last one.
Do you want to do this? This is funny.
And then we'll get into everything else.
And then we'll get.
But this was just all kind of fun, and
we thought you guys would enjoy it if you've been here. So let's see.
Oh, I know a trick about the show. All right. So this was, some of you will know this, some of you won't. I
have to make it big. Hold on.
So
then we go to watch Hong's video.
Yes.
Or Hong on Nik's video.
Right.
And then this happened. Let me see. Okay, you guys can see it. I got to turn the volume on because I turned the volume off. Here we go.
Online and in person. They tell us they have never dealt with these types of threats while helping with the search. Sebastian's mom said she was, and she left because she says her son could be anywhere.
I think people may not realize quite what they're dealing with. Some people.
I don't think I even realized.
I think people thought they were dealing with just a YouTuber, just a guy that's a YouTuber. You know what I mean? I don't think they realize the connections that this guy has. And I don't mean this in an insulting way at all. He's a dangerous person to have as an enemy. Is how I would view it. I would not want this man as an enemy of mine at all. So anybody that he's coming after, he's going to find stuff. You have no doubt at all. He's going to find some things you're not going to want him to find if he's looking at you. So that is part of his role, I'm sure, as well. And then he's clearly he's playing some games, like Mrs. Z said. He's trying to poke the bear a bit, and I think it's worked.
There are evil people.
So that was awesome. We thought that was hilarious that we got, we're part of his opening reel there, and so that absolutely made my day. So thanks for including us on that. And
Nick's reassuring us in the chat.
The lawyer said you hit the nail on the head with the show. They love it. Don't be scared. You're not on the list of 4.
Oh, so that can lead into the next thing. The next thing we were going to talk about, just for a second, because we don't know a whole lot about it. And
okay, yeah, we could do that. And so, are we talking about the very recent? I want to make sure I get this right.
Well, this is information that we've received.
Yeah. So some of you probably saw Nik's stream today, and kind of the situations that are going on there. He's had a had a death threat, at least one. It kind of sounded like maybe two, and then plus he's had situations arise with a few different YouTube creators. But my understanding is that that there are some notices being sent to multiple creators on various platforms, cease and desist type of notices. I don't want to overstate anything.
Aggressive notices.
Aggressive notices, yes. I just so I suppose we will learn more about what that is
In the coming days.
over the next few days.
You can also go on X on Joseph Lesniak's statements. He does have statements on there about what, from a few days ago, explaining what they were going to do. So that might give you some ideas as to what's been going on.
He did. And it was strong.
Very strong.
And the way, sometimes when I hear death threats, because sometimes death threats, you can do these like implied, like the one where they talked about Bullhorn Betty in the street protesting. Well, it's legal to run over protesters. Like that's kind of one of those up to the line kind of death threats where you probably can't, you can probably not, it's probably not, it's up to the line, but probably not across it. But the way Nik phrased this today was something along the lines of, I'm going to kill you if you continue down. What was it? Down this string, or if you continue down this path, or down this string, or something like that. So that would be if he's got that recorded or on an email somewhere, that would be a very serious kind of phrasing of that. There would not be a lot of wiggle room, I wouldn't think, for whoever was foolish enough to send that. And that kind of actually goes back to the little clip he put on at the video. And I meant it. And I actually think they do not realize. I think they thought they were dealing with a YouTube guy, because there's so many people that are like, hey, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, and they're, they've got their other us. They're people like us, there were nothing to be scared of, right? That they're just people that are wanting to talk true crime and get involved in, and they have, because people don't do, a lot of people in true crime, unbelievably, do not actually do research. Most people's idea in true crime of doing research is just check someone's criminal history, and that's kind of where it stops. So I don't think they knew. I don't think they realized what they were dealing with. So some people I suppose are going to find out now, pretty soon, if they haven't already.
I think people have been finding out all day.
Maybe so. That could be right. So I don't know. So this has already happened, or it is happening.
Aw.
Yeah.
Tit
So
for tat. You're so sweet. Yes, we'd like some thumbs up. If you don't
Thank
mind to
you,
take
Lee.
a moment, we'd appreciate it. It does help us with the algorithm.
yeah. So this is all interesting. I don't know where this is all going with these cease and desist. I don't know what the triggers are for this. Why these are happening exactly. All these people, they stream for hours and hours, so you just don't know what they've said. And I don't listen to a lot of the. I'm going to guess the 4 people are probably not people I ever listen to anyway.
Yeah, it's not.
Probably not. So there's no telling. I mean, it could be anything. So I suppose we'll find out at some point what that's all about. And so whatever line they crossed, hopefully other people will learn.
Oh,
that lesson.
well, Nik is helping us answer this.
Inciting a riot, essentially. Okay. Okay.
Interesting. Well.
Okay. Well, yeah. So very.
I mean, I feel so loved tonight. We've got all kinds of great people in here.
But so so that'll certainly be something to follow there. I want to get to. Is there anything else we want to talk about in terms of
I think that's all that we need to talk. I mean, as far as what we've learned.
Yeah, and
about these. I think it's the quote is aggressive notices. So that's all we really know right now. So I'm sure that it will all reveal itself in time. And honestly, if you want some of the latest information, I would probably go to and follow Nick's Twitter.
Yeah, he's very active there.
Let me see if I can share it real quick.
I use X a lot too, just myself, but I know not all of you do. But if you do have X, he's worth a follow over there because that's where he really does a lot of his communicating. And so that would be the place to go.
Here, let me do a. How do you do that? I don't even know how to do this.
What are you trying to do?
Share.
Oh, his X account?
It's that's it, isn't it? Okay, there it is. Okay. Yeah, here you go. This is Nick's Twitter.
So we got a question up here. It's about legality. I don't know if I'm going to be able to answer this.
Is that Ginger Girl?
All right. Yes. Can we post
I missed
that?
it.
Yes. Here it is.
Ginger Girl asked, does anyone know the legality of a random TikTok personality setting up a tip line for Sebastian's case? Is this legal? Is it interference with an FBI investigation? Love your channel.
Oh,
Sebastian
thank you,
Strong.
Ginger Girl.
I don't know. I think about this stuff all the time. I always wonder, like, are we doing anything that might actually interfere with an investigation in some way? Like there are suspicions of things that I've had that might be going on with various agencies. And if I can observe it, I feel like I could express those thoughts, but I don't want to mess anything up either. So but we're also kind of in this place where we're discussing this case. And anyway, it's something I think about all the time about where the line is. As far as this tip line goes, I don't know, but that I will, I'll make it. That just comes up a few times. I don't know what the legality is of that. I'm gonna look that up. And
it depends on if they're taking those leads and sending them to the police themselves.
Yeah, I just want to. Is it like illegal? Is it illegal?
Nick said that ask Lesniak. He'll speak on your show any day this week. I'll put you in touch. So that would be a great person to ask.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, we'll ask him that.
That would be great.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Nick. We would appreciate that. And so we'll if we can set that up, that'd be perfect, and we'd be happy to do it.
Might be easier that way to let the attorney speak about it. So
right, then 3 laymen to try to
do
this, Yeah, but that's a great question because it has come up a few times. There's various groups that have done the tip lines and things, and people, like how do you have to share it? Do you have, is it illegal to do it all? I just don't know. So that's a good question. I want to
thank you, Ginger Girl.
Sure. Yes, thank you, Ginger Girl. We do appreciate that too. So I do want to get into a couple of the big news items that have happened.
Do you want to do Seth?
Yeah, let's do Seth first.
I have it on the slideshow. I made a slideshow so I'd have everything handy.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. So, but I did that first.
So basically whoever, the wrecking ball is kind of what's going on right now is what it feels like. And so that's where the theme for the show came. And
well, I made the emoji wrecking ball too for our members.
Yeah.
So just because I thought it was funny.
I think we would have been completely deplatformed if we played her song. But I really wanted to play it.
Yeah, I've been searching all weekend trying to figure out how he could play it. He really wanted to play it.
We were it's okay if we lose all the ad revenue or whatever it is. But I think it was like we could lose the channel and all that too.
I don't know. It was too hard.
So we just let that go. But that would have been fun.
Oh, Seth must have said something funny. I missed it.
No, did he?
Everybody's LOL and Seth. That is not me, is what Seth said.
Oh, on the wrecking ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's great. I learned a lot about her this afternoon, just kind of going through her charities and stuff, and she's amazing at her charity work, and So anyway, the news about Seth was great to us in a lot of ways. So if you did, I'm assuming you all saw this, but Bullhorn Betty shared the timesheets from the jail. And, we haven't gotten a lot of hard evidence in this case when you think about it, like firm, verifiable evidence. And to get the timesheets, to have that in hand where you can actually establish timelines in a case like this for us is great. So for our purposes, it really didn't matter because anybody that had been with us for several months we had worked through all of these Seth theories and all of that, and had basically ruled him out. And but still, there were the people out there still trying to cling to this idea and the rumor that he somehow could have had a 3-hour break at a jail, which is just saying that out loud is ridiculous anyway, and have left and driven, and all of this. So anyway, he produces the time sheets with his log entries, and this should put all of this to rest. So hopefully this will really tamp down a lot of that kind of nonsense talk that we've been hearing, and give him a little more peace in that regard. Because once somebody's got a rock solid alibi like this, it's time to call off the dogs, really,
Well, like you were saying this afternoon, though, you said it didn't mean that much to us to even see this because we had ruled him out months ago.
Right, we had. I mean, because it never made any sense.
Never made sense.
Because if he had left the prison or the jail, and clocked out and been caught on all these cameras and getting in his car and driving north, well, he would have been in jail the next day, and they would have kept him there until they found out where Sebastian was. That's how it would have gone. Anybody that with any ounce of logic at all could put that together, right? So we all knew that was impossible. And then the whole, it was impossible. Him knowing that the Proudfoots wouldn't have their cameras working that night, or that the 2 dogs wouldn't be barking, and that he somehow could get Sebastian's attention and at 3 a.m. or whatever, and then still, and why, and even if we were going to do, here's one that I never heard anyone discuss at all. Even if you were going to try to pull off something like that, why would you do it on the day you were actually scheduled to be in a jail? Why wouldn't you just do it on your day off? Why would you set yourself up to be caught? It was devoid of all reason and logic. And so that's why we've always kind of ruled him out. At least, I mean, obviously initially we looked at everyone, and then you work through it. And that's what we've been doing here. We've been working through all the theories, and you're really only left with 2 things right now. It's either an inside job or an outside job. That's really all we're left with. But I was glad to see these sheets get released.
And can you also explain where it came from and
Sure.
where she got it?
Yes. So Bullhorn Betty received these, I'm assuming, from Seth. And
I think they actually came from the supervisor at his work. They didn't come directly from him, but from his supervisor.
Isn't it actually?
I have the other stuff too. I can read it, but I'm not good. There's,
I think it was the attorney for the jail, and
Seth can correct us if we're wrong, but
I think this was an exchange between attorneys, I believe, right?
Okay,
it's my understanding.
Yeah. So
and somebody had asked about the Monday. If you look at the timesheet, it shows 2:25, 7:01 p.m. is clocking in, and he clocks out on the 26th at 7:05 a.m. And of course, right after that is when he found out about Sebastian being missing. And then, of course, he didn't go to work the next 2 days. You see 0 hours on those 2 days because he, was helping with the search. And that's when he was reeling and everything was going down at that time. So somebody, I don't know if they couldn't see that on the sheet or not.
So it says they came from my attorney. Right.
Okay. Well, so here's where, and the reason we got here already was because this channel and our group and the people that our community here, we are the critical thinking logic kind of place. We don't go on the gut feelings and the well, I don't like him, so he must be guilty. That we go with what's in front of us and facts and like a lot of people are saying actually over and over, common sense actually. So it is some common sense. So there are going to be people that will probably still deny this, even that this will not be good.
It's already been going on. It's already.
I don't doubt at all. I'm sure there are going to be people that are going to say this is a forgery or he altered times or whatever.
Well, it's more picking apart the times. Like, why was he there for 50 minutes? And there's a timestamp for 50 minutes there, and you can't really see it, but there's a timestamp.
But he was when Sebastian went missing. It's like a 12-hour stretch, right?
Yes.
Yeah. uninterrupted 12-hour stretch.
Right. But they're talking about the day before and speculating what that could mean. And
I don't
things
know.
like that.
I mean, just that this is flawed or altered or whatever.
Oh,
or
I
fake.
see.
And so I, like I said, I don't watch a lot of those channels very, very rarely, unless I'm having to do it for research.
Okay, Auntie, what?
What is it?
Lawrence's common sense is apparently not common.
What it is, I think, is that people, we've talked about this. You do have to teach your kids how to think critically. It is a skill, and our world is set up where we sit around waiting for people to tell us what to think, to tell us what the answer is. Our favorite influencer or our favorite pundit or whoever we trust, we sit around waiting for them to tell us the answer instead of asking ourselves those questions and finding the truth ourselves. Anyone, though, that tries to say that this is a fraud should think of two things, I think, why that would be impossible. One is that there's two lawyers involved, two real lawyers. So if someone were to tamper with, fabricate, make fake timesheets, neither lawyer on either side are going to stand for that longer than about 2 seconds before they're making statements and taking people to court, because their lawyers are not going to allow that nonsense with their name attached to it. Right. So we know just for that reason, this is absolutely an authentic document. The other is that the sheriffs also clearly would have these timesheets. So they know if this has been altered or doctored also. Right. It would be a massive red flag of guilt if it were doctored in any kind of way. So it's definitely authentic. We now have rock solid, firm evidence on Seth's timeline. And timelines have been a hard thing with this case to establish for anyone really in a firm sense, because we don't have access to all these phone call logs and things of that nature. And so if you're kind of like us, these amateur sleuths out there and people that just want to know what the truth is, you've got now firm, verifiable evidence to look at. And there's not a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many firm, verifiable pieces of evidence do we have? There's really not many. So I'm glad that Seth had these released. And here's another thing that, just on a side note about it, to me, it is just another.
I'm happy with you.
I know. I'll never fit in. So here's another thing about this that's another good sign about Seth. If you just needed even more, is that he took his time about releasing this.
Yeah, I don't have that up there because I didn't put that in it.
I think
I can give you the date.
Wasn't it like 2 months?
It looks like that he received these July 5th. He can correct us if he's wrong, if we're wrong.
So the date on here is that Seth received them July 5th. Maybe his attorney took a day or two to get them to him or whatever, but he's had these in his possession for 2 months. And even with all the criticism and all the doubt and all of this, he's had this rock solid evidence, and it wasn't a priority to clear his own name. The priority has been Sebastian. And so, a sign of guilt is to put clearing your own name ahead of everything else, including the child, right? And we see that in places. But so anyway, so it was a very interesting piece of evidence. And do you have any thoughts about the timesheets or anything else before?
No, they're pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'm glad we got them out there. That should put
I think hopefully that's all my slides.
Hopefully some of the folks that had been kind of swayed into thinking Seth was a viable suspect can now move on from that and focus on the reality, which is it's either an inside job or an outside
That's
job.
Not supposed to be there yet. Hold on.
That's really the only two options we have left.
Sorry, that wasn't supposed to be there yet.
Sneak
preview. And that was
so. That's a little break in that. Do we have any super chats or members or anything that I have
probably
missed?
Did.
We had. I know someone gifted a membership. Miley Cat gifted a membership.
Oh, thank you. And thank you guys for the super chats and everything and all the gifting and memberships. I'll just do a standard welcome. And then also a thank you. because we appreciate you guys. We just appreciate you guys being here. And we also appreciate all the support that you've given us. All right, sorry. Okay. We're just flying through everything tonight.
I know. We really are.
Do you want to go through chat for a minute and just kind of talk to people before we go forward?
Sure. If you got anything you want to highlight, I can scroll back.
I mean, we've had some interesting stuff. Some things you may not have seen. I believe Lisa B always had a good one. She wanted to know if we could see CP's timesheet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Let's
So-
see everybody.
I wonder if does construction.
poll time. Okay.
They probably have timesheets, right? I mean, he could. I would guess he could request.
All right. Tit for tat. What poll do we want to do? It's all quiet now because they slowed the chat down so for me. Oh, I'm getting,
And Nicole had asked that we please read this, and she just said that she's praying for Seth, and she's followed the case from day one, and she said she knows he has nothing to do with Sebastian's disappearance, but she asked that we please read that. So there you go, Nicole.
Yeah. I mean, this has really been the majority of people. Really, the people that have doubted it is just a vocal minority.
and Nicole also said this. She wanted us to see it, and so it got texted to us.
Oh, okay. So I'll just read that.
Yeah.
Mr. E, I have tried so hard to get people to watch your live on Nik The Hat. There are a lot of people who just think he is just a YouTuber. Boy, I can't wait till they find out the hard way. It sounds like some people have already found out the hard way.
I think some people
Yes,
have found out today, and I've heard in some I've also heard in some interesting ways that will be coming out, but can't quite find what I need to show that. So,
Oh, yeah.
Did
guess
Tit for
turning
Tat have any ideas for a poll before we move on?
I think people are doing
Oh, they're giving us ideas.
maybe.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, people are just kind of curious about the timesheets. I assume he would have to do one, right?
Who?
On the construction job.
I would think so.
Maybe not.
It may
right.
not be the same kind of clock-in system. I think where Seth works, it's much more rigorous, and every, in a jail, you have all kinds of
Yeah, there's no faking
safeguards
that.
where I mean, every time you open a gate, you have to use your ID and things like that. There's really no way to fake it in that environment. Whereas in construction, it would be a little easier, but I'm sure they have a system as well.
Yeah, but Chris too, if he might have, there was the one Chloe PI, she claimed to have had a source that placed him there at 5:15. But so if he got there early and just were hanging out having a cup of coffee, he might not clock in yet. Also, possibly if we were just hanging out, just got there too early. I don't know.
Okay.
So that may not be as firm.
I'm doing the poll that Tit for Tat sent.
Okay, got a poll
And
question.
it is, do you feel the mounting pressure will result in an arrest soon?
That's a good
How are
one.
we going to define soon?
Well, it's too late now. I've already put the poll up.
Well, we can just say it. We could just say what would be. So it's mid-September.
Oh, Seth had a poll too. Uh-oh, maybe we'll have to do Seth next.
We'll have to do two.
I'd call soon before the end of November, or before the end of
Well, I
November.
believe that, and if Nik is still here, and I believe he said they wanted to have everything done by December.
Okay, well then, yeah.
I think.
All right, Seth. Seth's being funny tonight.
Good one.
Well, I had to wear orange over the weekend, and I will tell you, I looked kind of amazing in orange. So, and actually everybody did.
I was gonna say the whole stadium had on orange. So I think Hong's got a good point here.
Okay. Hong says, I challenge CP to come on Good Morning America with Dog Tony, Mr. Rogers, and the legal team. He wants to come clean. Let's go contact Sebastian. Yeah, absolutely.
I would like to see Dr. Phil, but that's just me.
Dr. Phil would be great too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's, actually, we were kind of going to get into Chris a little bit. Why don't we
Okay,
do
so
that
let's
next?
go ahead and do our next portion, and then we can chat it up some more.
Yeah, so let's get into the Chris stuff since he's kind of coming up anyway.
All right, so you want to?
Yeah, so Chris went and did a YouTuber show, and I think he called in or something, and okay, so here's the thing, it's been months.
Was this yesterday?
I think it was Saturday.
Saturday.
Mhm.
Okay.
It was Saturday because we were at the
We were at the game.
University of Tennessee ball game and getting texts about it.
Yeah. So we listened to a little bit of that, kind of waiting to get out of the traffic and everything. And so here's the thing to me about like people that, if we hear more from, the parents and that kind of thing at this point, early on, we were doing a lot of that, like the statement analysis stuff and trying to learn from like Peter Hyatt and Pat Brown and Deception Detective and all those techniques that they do. That stuff, is going to be less useful now at this point than it was early, because we're 7 months in. And at this point, if they do have any guilty knowledge, right, then they know the flaws in their story. Like they know the weak spots because they've been, obsessively watching all these YouTube channels and learning where the flaws are, where the mistakes they might have made and inconsistencies and all that. So even if they decide to go do, interviews or anything like that going forward, we're not gonna learn as much through those type of techniques as you would early on when their stories were not
Fresh.
Were fresh,
Mm-hmm.
right? So anyway, that's just kind of one thought I'd had about that. Otherwise, there really wasn't a lot to learn from it. Did you have something to say on it?
No, not at all.
There wasn't a whole lot to learn information wise from Chris. I mean, it was a very friendly atmosphere to him and that kind of thing. And then, but there were a couple of things. It did seem to be a priority to make himself appear sympathetic, like to feel sorry for him and that kind of thing. They were talking about the pictures. They can go in public without people taking their picture and all of that and posting it online or whatever. And that, it's an exaggeration because that's really not been that big an issue for them. We were talking about this. I can only think of 3 times that Chris has had his picture taken in public at all, other than being on a show or something, and having it posted. And people are so unfamiliar with what he looked like that when he was in court, even like the YouTube true crime community had no idea who he was. I didn't even believe it was him. So this idea that he's had like not been able to live a life because there's so many cameras around and getting published everywhere, it's just not really been the truth. And people haven't even really been sure where he is because there's been all these rumors about him being in various states. And so, so it's just one of those kind of plays for sympathy, is how it appeared to me. The other things he kept saying were that he wanted all the YouTubers to stop being negative about Sebastian and to be more positive. He reiterated that over and over, and that they only had permission to talk about Sebastian if they were positive, mm-hmm. which to me was wild that he thought that we would require his permission to discuss one of the FBI's top 10 cases in the country at the moment.
Well, and who has not been positive about Sebastian or has talked about Sebastian in a negative way? I don't think even the bad ones, the ones that have said bad things about other people, have not talked badly about Sebastian.
I can't think of any time, even like in the chat from a troll or something.
That's a really unrealistic thing to ask. I mean, because that's not happening. See,
I think that's the one thing we can all agree on is that we want to bring Sebastian home. That's the one thing we can all agree on. Yeah. So I haven't seen anyone talk negatively about Sebastian at all. And, I suspect that that's not what he was exactly saying. Mm-hmm. But that is how it was stated. Right. To keep Sebastian's name in a positive light.
Yeah. So. What he means by positive and negative, he means.
In your opinion.
In my opinion, he means his family. The two of them. That's what he means, I think, by positive and negative. If you're, because there's only 2 options, it's an inside job or outside job. And if you look at it being an inside job, then I think he views that as negative. As long as you think anything else, then that's positive. But I think that's really what he means by that.
Lady Tit for Tat says he spoke poorly about Sebastian, pot meat kettle.
And then
thank you for your super chat.
So that brings us to
and we have a new member.
Thank you, Lady Tiff.
And Butterfly Girl, welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Butterfly Girl. And so the other thing he mentioned was I can't think of how he said this exactly, but it was something along the lines of how, we need to just start all YouTubers that care, all need to start coming together and working together to find Sebastian, which actually I think we all could actually agree with that. And so we started thinking about how that could happen. And he did say something along the lines of he didn't know how to do this and that type of thing. But, he
said he didn't know how to make that happen.
Yeah, he didn't know how to make that happen. So we started thinking, how could we make that happen? So do we want to do the first?
Yeah, I'll pull it up. So these are a few questions that these
were ideas we thought that everyone could come together on, that we thought would help further the cause for finding Sebastian.
Why can't I get it to work?
That would require his effort to help bring everyone together.
Yeah, I think yes.
Why won't it show?
It did just a minute ago.
I know. Let's see. Give me just a second to figure this out. Is it over here? Well, that'll work. We're in the little circles. Okay.
So these were questions that I would have for the two. Have you reached out to the Cold Case Foundation? If you're not familiar with the Cold Case Foundation, this is a group with Chris McDonough. I think there's
and you were going to mention that about what was revealed on the lab.
Yeah, we could just do that now too.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that.
So Chris McDonough, I think it's like 160 some odd investigators and retired homicide detectives and all kinds of professionals. And they, as the name implies, they work on cold cases and assist law enforcement with their, years and decades of knowledge and assist. And so that would be my question: has he reached out to them, to the Cold Case Foundation to request their help? And I don't know if you all saw. If you want to just go ahead and finish this part.
Do you want me to hit the next slide?
Because
do you have?
Well, so if you haven't, if not, then why not? Would be the next part of that. So that would be a follow-up question there. And then with McDonough too, we've talked about this a lot the last couple of weeks because I think we've all been confused about why they may or may not be involved. And I think they cleared it up on the last stream. It's a great episode with Josh and Chris.
It was good.
I highly recommend watching the whole thing. It was fantastic.
And then watch it again.
I actually started it a second time because it was so good. And but anyway, Chris cleared it up pretty well, but I'm still a little confused about parts. But what he was saying is that because we had wondered if Seth had to be cleared for them to get involved, and at one point I think Josh had said that he did not. He
did not think so.
Yeah, he didn't think so,
but it was cleared up.
But Seth believed he did, and so anyway, what it is it's either's kind of true. He can. The Cold Case Foundation can come in if Seth has been cleared by law enforcement. Another way they can come in is if law enforcement invites them in,
or if the other parents are cleared and they invite them in.
Or any
parent.
If any parent is cleared and invites them in, then they can come in, but they have to be cleared by law enforcement, or law enforcement can just invite the Cold Case Foundation in, and if they're interested, then they join or whatever. So there's kind of like a two-way you could do it, or both of those scenarios I guess could be true. That would probably be ideal, that everyone wants to work together on that. So anyway, just a request would probably help. I mean, they just did great work on the Dale. What's his last name? Dale. The guy that had his wife on his farm in that tank.
Oh, her name started with a D.
Wagner. Yes,
Wagner.
D. Wagner and Dale Wagner, and they did great work up there for 2 years and helped bring some resolution to that. And so anyway. So if you don't want to work with them, what would be the reason for not? Because if everybody's going to come together and work, then we need to know that what the reasons would be, right?
Yeah. So Tia Nurse has a really good. This is kind of awesome.
Chris McDonough's percentage of solving cases is 90%. He's been doing this for many years. To hold that percentage proves an intelligent and compassionate man.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree.
If you listen to that episode, he does a lot of questions. There was a part where Josh was talking about it, whether or not it was a criminal investigation. And Chris says, well, if it's not a criminal investigation, then what is it? he puts the question right back on Josh, and Josh is like, well, I don't, and
It's a good question.
he does what Chris does is he faces those contradictions and with questions. You ask the questions and make people think, and you come to the conclusion, and he's come to the conclusion that we've all come to, is that there's only two options left on the table. He either this was an inside job or there was an outside job. He did not run away. That's off the table. All the evidence, and we've gone over that here. They go over it on their show. I mean, I know there's probably some people out there who still think he's a runaway.
Have new people, yeah.
But there's so many reasons to already know that is not the case. And you get there through logic. They haven't come out and expressly said it that way. But there's things like the DA being there on day 3. They don't come in for missing people. There's the landfill search.
They'll come in for runaways.
Yes, for runaways. They come in because they think there's a crime. The landfill search, you have to produce all this evidence and go up on multiple chains of command to get that approved to search the landfill, and that they would not have done that for a runaway in a separate state. And then the FBI is kind of the big one, the $50,000 reward. They don't do that for runaway kids ever, and so that tells us we know for a fact that they believe that this is some type of crime. Exactly what crime, we still don't know. Could be an unaliving, could be a kidnapping, could be something conspiracy or anything along those lines. We just don't know. But anyway, so we know it's those two things. It's just inside or outside. That's the question. That's the big question we have left at the moment.
And did you see Seth's comment?
Seth says, and I have already asked Sumner County to ask the Cold Case Foundation for assistance. I did that a while back. Yeah, I think Chris says that actually on the same show. So this is where I'm kind of guessing myself a bit why they are not accepting that help. One possibility is they think they don't need it. They might believe that they've already got this thing wrapped up, and they're just doing the finishing touches before they bring the hammer down. Another possibility is that it's some form of ego, corruption, hubris, whatever, something along those lines that's preventing them from accepting the help too. So kind of depends on how you feel about law enforcement right now, but I think those are the two most likely. Maybe there's a third option I'm not thinking of. But if I do have a kind of a third. I've sort of wondered if they secretly are already helping, but I don't know. There's no way for me to know that. If they're really wanting to work in the shadows. Is that possible?
I think there's a lot going on that we don't realize, and hopefully it'll come to light.
Yeah.
So
anyway, that's
one of the questions.
That's one of the questions. So if you don't want to work with them, why would you not? And maybe they have a great explanation. I don't know if they chose not to. Another thing I would ask if we wanted to try to get this whole YouTube community to come together, would be the next question. Can we pull?
Okay, I was seeing.
Something you wanted to show?
Lauren just said, can the sheriff's department clear Seth, or can TBI or FBI clear?
Ooh, I don't.
That's a good question.
I don't know. But I know SCSO can clear them and this is one of those things that people say that they can't clear anyone because they haven't been named a suspect yet. I've heard this refrain a number of times, and that's not true because the Caleb Harris situation, which was very similar to this in a lot of ways, they did clear the parents and the roommates, and they cleared the Uber driver, and they even cleared that guy. I mean, if you don't know the story, but there was a guy that left the apartment complex in the middle of the night and drove several hundreds of miles back home. They even publicly cleared that kid because they didn't want to have these unnecessary targets on people. Because of course that Uber driver was what everyone was curious about at the time. And then there was a lot of suspicion about the roommates. But the police actually went out of their way to make sure that these people were off the list and that their stories checked out. And so, and that appears to be true. So and we didn't know what had happened to Caleb at that point. It was months later that they found him in that water treatment area. And so,
And that's a common thing you hear on a lot of shows is that they don't clear people, but that's not the case.
it's not true because they can, and they, at least in Texas, they did.
Well, I mean, maybe different departments do things different ways, but
yeah, it might be a policy kind of thing or something like that, but it's still a choice. They could do it if they chose to.
And then Tony says, Sumner County, what are you waiting for? Or what are you waiting on? Why would you turn down free expert help? It's a great question.
I don't know.
If not, why not?
I'll if you've been following me, I've personally have been on they're not corrupt, and I've been kind of in the minority on that. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder. And somebody's mentioning this about Millersville.
Yeah, I just was going to put that up next.
So if you don't know, and Auntie might know more about this actually. I've just read a little on it, but Millersville police. So Jennifer says Millersville police has been investigated and currently being investigated. Millersville is just a city over from Hendersonville, not far at all.
And it actually is part of Sumner County. It's partially in Sumner County and partially in Davidson.
That was
maybe not Davidson, maybe Robertson.
Yeah, Mrs. E and I were out driving and actually ended up in Millersville. We actually ate there.
Mm-hmm.
But we
were
driving around looking for areas that Sebastian could possibly be in, and we were doing that one whole day and ended up in Millersville. But the thing that I saw about Millersville was on a national scale of what was going on, and you can pretty much, if you want to find out more about it, you haven't seen it, there you can go on X, formerly Twitter, and just put in Millersville police. I don't know if it's police chief or captain, but he was brought in and had found corruption. And he has about an 8-minute little press conference release that he did. And I sent that to Mr. and Mrs. E and said, could any of this be related to anything going on with Sebastian? It's awful close. And it is on multi-jurisdictional corruption of police departments right there in the area as part of Sumner County. So it is very unusual and very coincidental that something like this in this biggest scale is going on with corruption right there. So we're not saying it has anything to do with it, but it is something to investigate and kind of use your brain to think, maybe you can connect some dots.
If for no other reason at all, it's a very interesting story. If you guys want to look at it, it's interesting what's going on. So, and then Car Guy says, I believe SCSO dropped the ball and doesn't want outside LE to know, especially during a sheriff election.
Good point.
I think that's possible. Yeah. And then Ginger Girl, thank you so much for the super chat. It says, I would love to have another red flag show. That was fun, wasn't it? Great information shared by all that night. Critical thinking, crime dog team. Loved it. Thank you, Ginger Girl. That's very sweet of you. Well, do you want to move on to your next question, Mr. E, or do you have a few more things you want to talk about? Since
we're on this, I just want to talk about it real quick with the Millersville thing. So that the sheriff that Auntie was mentioning, that was he had said that he believed that there was all this corruption. He'd been gathering this evidence, and that's why TBI raided his home and other offices, gathering that information and whisking it away, kind of like a cover-up is what he believed. Mm-hmm. The TBI's version is that there is corruption within Millersville with like election fraud and various other accounting issues that they've been having, other type of crime on the local level, and that's why they were raiding this home and the offices. Either way, actually, it almost doesn't matter. There's corruption here, whichever one ends up being true, right? Unless TBI is just completely wrong. But there's a corruption problem in a nearby town within Sumner County. So, it's not a conspiracy theory to say that there's some issue going on in this area. And whether that relates directly to the sheriff's office in Sumner County or not, or it's just a Millersville issue, I don't know, but they are really close by, and it's basically in the same ballpark, and so it's something to kind of keep an eye on.
And his name is Assistant Chief Sean Taylor.
Yes, yeah,
and all you have to do is search that, put Millersville Sean Taylor on X, and you'll pull it. There's tons of links to what he has to say about that. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't know which way that's going to go, but So you can make a pretty strong argument either way, really. So if if the state's trying to cover up their crimes, or if the local guy's trying to cover up his, it seems to be kind of a one or the other. And so, and something else I kind of wanted to mention. Well, actually, I might do that another time. Oh, thank you, Lady Tit for Tat. You gifted a Crimecast membership. I appreciate that. Yeah, so Bear saying, I can tell you there's corruption in Portland as well. Yeah, I mean, I have actually heard that about Portland too, but there's always some, I mean, it's just a matter of degrees. There's always a little bit of good old boy things going on here and there. And, any community, if you know the right person, you can, you can sometimes make a thing happen. The question just is, is it so corrupt that something like this could be covered up or not? It's hard for me to maybe I'm just being optimistic, a little naive. It's hard for me to want to go there on that. The kind of thing that would be easier for me to believe is that they might have a friend in the department that could give them some help, and in terms of like advice and maybe believing them. Like if people in the sheriff's department knew them when they came out to the home, it might be like, oh no, we're not even looking at these guys. I know them from bowling night or from whatever. They know each other. Then it might have slowed things down enough for the trail to get cold if we believe it happened in the house. So is it an issue? I don't know. I don't know, but I think if it is, this team with the AtNight group is probably a good group to have around, because corruption is kind of their deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what they're really good at exposing. And so it's a good thing they're here. If that does end up being the case, then they've got the right people working on it. So I think we'll find out, actually. I think we'll find out. Real Me Too says, Chris, why would you say Sebastian's case would be studied for years to come? That's implying he won't be found. Sounds suspicious to me. It was a massive red flag. Yes, it was. Lady Tit for Tat says, 100% yes, Mr. E creates bias.
Yes.
So let's do the next question.
From K-Mac tonight. Let's let her.
Hi, K-Mac. In my opinion, it sounds like state government would want to push to get this case solved. It looks quite bad for their LE in Tennessee.
I agree.
Well, I mean, the Tennessee ones are just stacking up. So it's just another one to add to the pile of bad situations in Tennessee. So,
and it's funny because when we first started this and our channel and everything, that was part of, we were like, why are people so down on Tennessee?
Right.
We did. Yeah.
We didn't get it. We didn't, I don't know if it was always there and we just didn't, I guess it was always there and we just didn't see it. So anyway, do you want to go to your next one?
Yeah.
So this is our next question.
The other question I would ask, if they want to start working together with everyone, is, have you reached out to Dog the Bounty Hunter to offer your cooperation and assistance? I mean, you can't hardly beat Dog the Bounty Hunter in terms of the celebrity in that kind of field and arena. And so he's going to open some doors. But that was one thing I figured out watching the show, just 5 or 6 episodes we did. Some of these fugitives were basically falling all over themselves to turn themselves in just so they could, talk to Dog. They were almost happy to be arrested once they realized it was Dog the Bounty Hunter that was bringing them in.
Mm-hmm.
And actually,
almost like starstruck. And so people do get starstruck with things. And if he comes knocking, if he goes walking through neighborhoods, knocking on doors, and people know who he is, people are going to invite him in and tell him everything they know, things they may not have told the police.
right.
Because there are people that are afraid. If you don't live here, you may not realize this, but the locals are scared. They're scared of the police, and they are scared of, and people that live nearby are scared of the family. This I hear all the time.
Well, and if there's the alternative, we're scared of abductions.
And there's that too. Yeah, the people that live, because there are people that don't know what happened, and they wonder if their child's next.
Also, just before I forget, this is a good comment by Tia Nurse.
I was getting ready to click on that one.
Yeah. Tennessee Nurse says, I think the story begins and ends in that house on that night. Anything else requires mental acrobatics to accept. Dr. Gary Bricado. Yeah, it does. And, I've heard a couple people say this, but you would be you're not going to find many professionals. Gary's like a forensic psychologist, I believe is his background.
Yes.
And you're not going to find those guys, the forensic psychologists, the statement analysis, the retired detectives, the FBI agent, like all of the professional people. They had quit looking at Seth months ago.
Right.
And all of them are looking at the house. All of them. And so we're not professional investigators and never have been. And, so we listen to people that know more and are smarter than us. And they might have slightly different theories at times, but everybody's looking at the house. So it's got to be your number one option. You got to rule that out first before you move on to strangers.
Purple World had a good point.
Purple World says maybe that's their strategy to keep people from moving here. Yeah, right. Overpopulation, growing too fast.
No, I'm just kidding. So then I guess
Yes,
after you ask that question,
if not, why not? Because you would need to explain why you would not want the assistance of obviously a huge team of attorneys, a huge team, social media influencers and investigators and whoever. I don't know. Does Dog still work with his family when he does jobs like this? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm sure he's got a team of people that work with him. Why would you turn that down? I mean, I think if you want teamwork, you would have to explain that if we're all going to go forward together.
right?
But yeah, I think anyone would be willing to help Dog the Bounty Hunter that wants to find Sebastian. Sure. I think you could get everybody on board with that. So let's do the next.
The next question.
Yeah. So several high-profile, respected outlets like Nick Barris and Deception Detective have invited you to be interviewed on their platforms. So far, you have turned them down. Would you reconsider for heightened exposure for Sebastian's case? Or Good Morning America. And so, but Nick Barris and Deception Detective, we wanted to mention in particular because we knew that he turned them down repeatedly. Deception Detective, if you don't know, he's a statement analysis. I think he's got well over 100,000 subscribers at this point. And he's great. He's like my favorite. Nick Barris is the local news reporter, investigative reporter that has covered this case the most as far as like the mainstream media guys. And he's also the one that's been very close to the sheriff's department. K-Mac says, if my son was missing, I would welcome the assistance. Of course.
Most people would.
Yeah. So I guess the question after this, if they did not, would be
Nick said they should come on this channel.
They could. We'd be, we would be nice to them if they did, but I don't.
And fair.
I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
If nothing else, you could email us the answers to these questions, and explain why you wouldn't, if you'd like, or if you. I don't know.
I thought at first,
if there's something to clear up, this is what I was. If there's something we believe that's not true, I hope they feel comfortable that they could email or reach out to us and say, hey, this is a fact that I can prove is not true, that you've misunderstood, that you've been reporting, and we would gladly clear any of that up.
For a moment, I thought Nick meant Deception Detective. And I was going to say you would fanboy out.
I might fanboy a little too hard with Deception Detective on the show.
Right. Do you know how many times a day I see him with his deception duck in his hand?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he got a deception duck for his birthday, and he loves it.
Yeah, it's really good. It is really good.
And if you guys don't have it, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I highly recommend it.
It is really good.
And then you want me to go to your question?
But to turn down Nick Barris in particular was actually
interesting,
not
because that was at the beginning.
Yeah, and he did it for weeks. He asked him for weeks, and he just would not go on. And that's the major. That he has covered. He has stayed with this story from beginning to now more than anyone, and still won't be interviewed with him. And Nick's reasonable. Well,
they at the very beginning too. I think they had something scheduled, and then they couldn't connect.
That's right.
So The next thing is, if not, why not?
If not, why not? Because we would need to understand the reason for that rejection.
Auntie's laughing about stuff.
No,
I don't know if it's chat.
I think if not, why not?
Well, you can't just get away with just saying no. You'd have to say, okay, if we're all on the same team, we need to understand what the problem is here, because we may not all be on the same team. If our goal is to find Sebastian, we wouldn't have to understand.
Yes, I just feel like, going on a YouTuber and just kind of coming on and saying we need to bring everybody together is the absolute opposite of everything he's done so far. Why the change of heart? What's going on? And is it just for show, or do you really sincerely believe that? If so, why are you not doing any of the things that we've talked about?
Yeah. I mean, and he said he didn't know what to do and that we should all come together and have a plan. So we're offering a plan. I think all of these are reasonable steps to make, or at least to consider.
I think we definitely need to have another red flags at night, because I am seeing so many red flags that we didn't even cover in the chat.
Well, we've probably had more red flags since we did that episode.
Well, that's true.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So this, so let's do the next,
Okay.
and maybe the chat will come up with some.
This is an interesting. This is an interesting thing.
CP will not do an interview with a man. That has appeared to be the case. But has he ever been?
Well, one creator's fiance has spoken with him.
That's true.
And
on the air, I mean,
yes. And there's a fella that flies drones around that's spoken.
So, so
lately,
a couple of people.
So yeah, but like I said, we don't mention other creators in chat or on the show unless they're visiting. We say hello. But do you want to go to the next question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we skipped this, didn't we, Dr. Phil?
No, I went back
because
you started talking.
Okay, I got you. Dr. Phil reaches millions of viewers. If asked, would you be willing to appear to help spread awareness for Sebastian? And this would require probably the whole team. This would be you would to do this. You would need Seth, Chris, and Katie to all agree to go do it. I don't think they would do it just for one parent, but I bet Dr. Phil would do this. I bet he would. If all three parents got on board, and you're talking millions of people would see this. And so that would get you awareness, unlike anything that has happened so far. So, I know there's hard feelings and hard words and all that kind of thing, but I think if you're wanting to work together to do a team effort, this would be worth the effort if you truly cared about spreading that awareness and bringing this kid home. And if you didn't want to do this,
sorry, I am reading.
If not, why not?
Ooh, Dr. Oz would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about him. That's a good one too. Yeah, any of those,
How about Adam Carolla? Could we get Adam Carolla? I don't know why.
Adam Carolla. I don't know if you want Adam Carolla.
I'm just joking. I was thinking about what was that show that used to be on when we were in college?
Oh, Loveline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Loveline. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. There's a lady in chat that's saying that we're not answering her questions, and I will just say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. What question?
Well, I don't know. I was trying to decipher what was going on. Do you want to read it?
Who is it?
This is Bet Cook. You guys, I have so many questions, except I ask, I'm a troll. Come on, please. My questions are about Katie's job. Why do I get no response? You all know about Seth's job and job punch cards. Not fair. So I don't understand the question really. I was trying to decipher it while we were talking, and then
so
are you getting at why? Well, I mean, in a way, Katie's timeline as far as work, she would have been home, so her timeline is really not that verifiable like Seth's was.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if that's what you're getting at, but she would have been in the home, from what we can tell,
mm-hmm.
from before he went missing to after. The only other time card we could have any interest in would be possibly Chris's, just depending on how his work would do that. And I mean, you would think that his work would be willing to supply him with that, understanding a situation if they thought it would help an employee. And he could do something similar to what Seth did, just put it out there. And
Oops.
we don't know
clear
that.
things up.
I certainly have no idea if Chris was in Memphis or Nashville. I don't know. I don't even really have a strong feeling about it. But it would be nice to know if we can place him in Memphis and kind of take him off the table. Who knows? We might be able to do that. Serenity 72, thank you so much. Says he will not go on an interview with a man unless he is a team CPKP. He does not want to go do a live that he cannot control. That's probably more it at this point. And he did break his silence, which was really kind of interesting anyway, because he'd been really quiet as far as public. I think his last appearance might have been at the end of May on one of the YouTube channels, I believe, or sometime around there, right? End of May. Is that the last we'd heard from Chris? Call into a show or anything? It's been a long time.
You mean as himself, or
actually, that's the impersonation. I think was the end of May.
Was it? Okay,
might have been June. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's been several months.
I have a timeline. I actually probably have it on my timeline if you want to know.
But what I think is interesting is that so much had happened before this Saturday. Like their son had a vigil, and of course, neither one of them were going to go to that, and instead they were placing calls to have arrests made. And then there was the gathering of voices and the 6-month anniversary of the disappearance. And anyone would know that the 6-month anniversary is a prime time to go get some free press and raise some awareness. And they were completely silent. And then even after the $50,000 reward was announced, they had nothing to say.
Initially,
Fox 17 contacted them, and they said that they did not have a comment to make at that time. And then 2 days later, a different news station contacted them, and they had at least it appeared to be a prepared statement by maybe a lawyer or someone like that. And so that was kind of the only news type of anything we heard from them. And then even at court, they had 3 or 4 different networks, local network people there. They were talking to South and all kinds of people. They could have come up and said, this all really isn't important. The important thing is we need to find our son. Here's a flyer, or, call TBI. Please help us find her. Instead, again, they told them no comment at the courthouse, that they didn't want to talk to them.
And if there's a statement, I haven't heard it.
Yeah, I think they told that the courthouse, I believe it was WKRN, but they told no.
It was Fox 17.
Oh, was it Fox 17 at the courthouse also?
Fox 17 is the one we watched that had no comment.
Okay.
I don't know if the others.
Okay, I might be getting whatever one it was there. They told them no comment.
It was a lady, and she said they reached out for comment. They said no comment.
Okay. And so what happened after that? Then Dog the Bounty Hunter, then the daily Nik streams and Hong, and the temperature started to really pick up, and then now it was time to come out and talk.
And
right, and
the real says bring in John Walsh. I think anybody. I think we should bring in anybody and everybody.
Well, I think once Dog starts becoming more public on this and doing a couple of things, and it'll get more attention, and it may encourage others to come cover it. The story, just as a story, is amazing. It's incredible, all of this that's happened. It's unbelievable. Who would have ever guessed any of this would have played out the way it has over the last 7 months? It's an incredible mystery. It's an incredible cast of characters in a lot of ways, and just the way everything has gone, and all of the ups and downs with this. It's amazing to me that it's not a national story. Guys,
it's becoming one.
It is. It's almost there. It's almost there. Cargay says KP and CP were hoping people would believe he had just walked out without a trace, and the case would go away, but the Sebastian Army is too smart for that.
I agree. I think that's it. Yeah.
I
got a text from Lady Tit for Tat, and she wanted to remind us that construction sites hold pre-jobs for safety before any work can begin. Pre-jobs are accompanied by a sign-in sheet. So interesting.
Okay. Well, that would make some sense. So there would be some type of record there, and
right.
I'm sure the police have it. or at least a copy of it or know of it.
Right.
So maybe he could obtain one and help himself out with, clear his own name. Maybe. I don't know. Or he might even be able to. He probably can't get footage from the campsite, could he? That's probably all been turned over to law enforcement. It is out of his hands, I would suspect, to prove if he was at the campsite or not. Like that might be difficult for him to do.
It's hard to say. Campsites typically have, at least on their main buildings, cameras. Yeah.
Well, and they have reservations and they have records to show in, day out times, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever actually watch Dr. Oz. Is this the kind of thing he covers?
I don't know. I guess so. I don't know. I thought he was more a medical things, but
yeah, but sometimes people kind of branch off into different topics and things. Could we do the next one?
Yeah. Sorry,
I think do we have one more?
I was working on something.
It's okay.
Can you give me 1 second?
I don't know if this is our last one or not.
It probably is. So I was gonna speed up the chat a little bit.
Okay.
Because it's a little slow.
Okay. Yeah, the case. Rogue says the case is very exhausting.
It is, and it's confusing. And there are days when I don't want to think about it ever again.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to keep all of this information in your head. There's so much.
Oh, welcome in, Misty. Misty's here. She's one of our mods as well.
Oh, hi, Misty.
I sped up the chat a little bit because it was almost just a little too slow. So.
Okay, so SS Butterfly Kisses says, yes, Dr. Oz has done things like this before.
It's not one.
I don't know. Karen Prowse just says he does true crime now.
Oh, awesome. I did not realize this.
I did not realize that either.
Okay, I didn't know.
We
don't really watch television hardly at all anymore.
Apparently now we're going to start watching
except for dog.
Except the 24-hour dog network. That's what's on the TV.
Told me about that.
It's on Sling. If you have Sling TV, it's on there.
Gotcha.
Because we had to get Sling so that we could watch SEC football. So
gotcha.
Right.
Yeah. So cutting the cord is turning out to not be as inexpensive as we thought. So
yeah, it's still better.
We keep adding things. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So the next one is.
And another
this
question.
Is a biggie.
And if you're just joining us, Chris had indicated that he wanted to get all the YouTubers, the whole community, all on the same page, but he didn't really know how to go forward with it. And so we thought, well, what could we do to all go in the same direction? So we had some questions for him. Would you consider having Katie move to the forefront as the spokesperson of your family? And the reason to me is that hearing from the stepfather really just isn't useful. He wasn't there. We don't believe he was there. She's the last one to see him. She's the mother. So if you want attention on the case, the mother is really the one that needs to be out there speaking. And Chris really doesn't need to say a lot anymore. Frankly, he's not good at PR. He usually does himself a lot more disservice than service. He does more damage to himself even than when he does speak. I can't think of any time he's gone out into the public and helped his situation or cause. It's always made it a little worse, But if you want to garner any real traction, it needs to be Katie, because she has all the answers. For anyone that'll want to talk to her, Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz or anybody, it's got to be Katie, because she's the one that wouldn't, even if they're innocent, she's the only one that might remember something that she doesn't remember or doesn't believe is significant, even a passing stranger or some comment that Sebastian might have made that afternoon, or it could be anything that could be the key to unlock the case if they are innocent. So Katie's really the only one in that family that needs to have a lot more to say. Chris coming out and talking really isn't useful. He's not there. He was a whole, 3.5 hour drive away. He doesn't know anything about what happened. All he knows is what Katie has told him. That's not, so that would be a major change I would do as far as approaching the media. Is it really should just be Katie, and preferably Katie alone. Maybe they're in silent support, but let Katie take the reins. And if you don't want to do that, why do you not want to do that? That would be another question. And that would be my suggestion on another shift in strategy there.
I don't know if I've got any other questions.
That might be the last.
Oh, wait,
one.
no. Whoops. Sorry.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
All right. Next question.
Can we make a plan to do a systemic, organized searches for Sebastian in the future? And would your extended family be open to having the searches on their private property? So there's kind of a lot in that question for us. So the searching, I believe is not. I mean, obviously searching is always great, even if you're searching the same place 3 or 4 times, because things do get missed. But it would be preferable to have one maybe person that Seth and Katie could both agree on that they're going to be in charge of the searching. This is going to be the person that says, we're searching this forest today, we're searching this farm next weekend, this is a place we think, or whatever. And the reason that I'm saying extended family is that just the odds, if it's not within your house, then it would be a high possibility that there might be a cousin or an in-law or some other relative that might have had some reason to do Sebastian harm or make him disappear. And so,
and that's just based on statistics.
It's just
right?
statistically, right? It's just statistically a possibility. And because of course your home's been searched thoroughly. But the family members, we understand and believe that the extended family has a lot of property and land all in Sumner County. Maybe someone that because you never know what you've got in your family. People can keep things secret. You might have a dark person within your circle somewhere that you're unaware of that may have done him harm. And if they were going to dispose of or hide him, it might be on family land somewhere. So that's why we put that part on there. And if you would not be open to doing that, then if not, why not? So those are kind of the ideas we had. Maybe some people.
I don't know if there's another question. Oh, whoops.
Oh,
sorry. There's another question.
Okay.
We have one more because you were telling me, and I kept thinking of questions. So.
Okay.
So that
and it's possible that people in the chat, if you guys think of some that would be good,
some other, if not, why not?
That would be, because the goal here would be to be all on the same page and the same team, but you have to have cooperation if you're all going to move in the same way. In the interest of full transparency, would you be willing to disclose what effort making behind the scenes?
What I missed a word. What effort you are making?
Right, behind the scenes to find Sebastian, because we've heard this a lot, that there have been efforts being made
behind the scenes.
And they said private searches. They've mentioned that before too.
Right. So like where have you searched? When? What else has been going on? And
because I mean, I think we all know about the billboards. We all know about the donation of money for the billboards. We're aware of that. We're aware of flyers and signs, and just in the interest of transparency.
And if you
else?
If you actually were interested in doing like a big conglomerate work together effort instead of like all this fighting between all these people, maybe I would think if you were going to do it, you would almost get like a mediator type, like a mutually agreed on,
right?
Maybe retired detective or somebody or whatever, or just someone to kind of help organize these efforts that everyone could agree upon. I know they have sort of tried in the past and it all fell through, but it's also been several months have gone by, and I don't know. It's what he said he was hoping for, some form of working together. But so those were just some suggestions that we had, and and of course, if you weren't interested, why would you not? So anyway, that was the
and then
yes, yeah, because it is ultimately about this kid that it's been too long and we still don't have any answers, and there's a lot of bright people that have believed that there's a chance that this kid is still alive. We've heard this from Laura Lodge. We've heard this from some folks on Dog's team at times. We've heard this. Someone else was saying this. Came to this conclusion. It's escaping me now. But there are some people that
Laura Lodge.
Yeah, I know Dog and Nick at different times have thought
There's been three
possible.
or four that their theory is he's well.
Mob Crew. Mob Crew believe
Mob
that
Crew.
also. And maybe they're right, and I hope they're right. But if they are right, then he's in danger, because every day that goes by, he's in danger. That might be a different situation a month from now. So really, time is pressing, and I think the most discouraging thing from that not an interview, really, it was just him talking, from that appearance, I guess, on a show, was to say that that they'd be answering questions sometime down the road when they, the time is now. The time was yesterday. This is if you believe there's any hope that he's alive, this is an urgent situation. It's not, well, let's talk about this months down the road. The time is today to get on this, because, maybe there's been reasons that you've, maybe emotionally, whatever, but the time to get on this is now, because if he is still alive, that means that most scenarios, and this is what Chris McDonough was saying, I kind of hate to even talk this way, but most scenarios that if he is alive, that means he's very likely with a predator type,
predatory,
that's, SA kind of situation, and he's being held. He's not in a good place. And his life could be in danger if that's the case. So there's an urgency to find him if we think that that's possible. And I do actually, if I'm guessing, just based on the things that I know and believe, I think he left the home alive. I don't know if he is now, but I think he left the home alive is my current belief.
I agree.
So that does make it, in my mind, possible that he's held somewhere. But this is an urgent situation. This is not, hey, we'll talk about this months from now. No, sorry. That's not where we are. It's the time is tomorrow morning. You guys need to start returning phone calls from all these people that are trying to contact you if you actually want this child found. And if you don't, then that tells us even more. So, let's see if you're serious or not.
Well, I think this is a great time to maybe say a little prayer for.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a prayer for Sebastian, and then everyone involved, all the searchers, all the new folks that are joining in the search and the fight for Sebastian in various ways. And let's pray let's pray that he's found alive, and that there's justice brought to whoever has taken him.
All right. And Sam's pretty paranormal. Nice to see you. I believe Seth is 100% innocent. He has done way more for Sebastian than the drop foot.
Well, so we've got a weird situation here now, though. I understand why people are having to do the nicknames, because people are worried.
Right.
People are worried that they're going to get taken to court by using the real name. So we've kind of got to, I know we kind of generally say that, well, let's not do the insults, but I think in a way people are having to do this to protect themselves.
Right. That's true.
And so I kind of get it.
And Pebble says 203 days. Where is Sebastian? Great question.
Yeah. Auntie, I think the only last thing we were thinking about talking about tonight, as far as stuff we had planned, was Coffindoffer.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch that episode with her?
I did watch it. It's been a few days since it was on, but she was initially supposed to have Nik and Dog the Bounty Hunter on and had to cancel that. I think that's been rescheduled. But she did talk about the case, and her and Chris McDonough have had both really, really good revelation about what they think's going on with the case. There's a few things with her I'm not sure that I agree with, especially the lights. I don't think she thinks the lights are viable. But we've kind of come to the conclusion we think they are viable, and that there's some evidence there that we don't know what happened. But it's been a few days, so I really can't tell you a whole lot about what she said, other than it was
Okay.
it was a really good show. It was kind of short, and she touches on it toward the very end of her last live. It was like, I want to think it was like at the 44-minute mark. She does some talk about it.
I'm sorry. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I actually wanted to address this before I lose it.
Sure.
Lisa B always says, "Where can I download the missing flyer?" You can go to the FBI website, so it's there. But I actually am going to go ahead right now and post it on our Facebook page so that you can download it from there. It might make it a little easier.
Is that the new one with the $100,000 reward?
It is.
Okay, awesome.
Yes. So you can download it there. Just right click and you can save it. And I actually have it. I can put it up real quick if we want. Let's see.
I want to see if I can tell you too exactly where that was. I think I sent it.
Oh wait. Let's see. I have okay, no, I can't. Okay. I thought I could. I cannot. I can if I go to the FBI site. So let's see. So I will put the link for you, Lisa, and you can go directly to this website for the FBI and you can download it right there.
So Denise is letting me know I've been saying the name wrong. It's D. Warren, not Wagner. This is the second live show you've called.
Yes.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
Once something gets locked in the brain like that,
Denise, doesn't surprise me.
But thanks for letting me know that I got that wrong, because I probably would have done that for the rest of my life. So I much would rather someone correct me now than figure it out like years from now that I've been saying it wrong. So Warren, I will try to do better with that. I appreciate it.
And there was one other thing I wanted to address. One thing that the Nik The Hat and Hong and Dog, their initiative is to get everybody to light up their house green for Sebastian across the world. So if you have an extra, I guess, light socket or however you want to do it, consider lighting up your home green for Sebastian to keep awareness for him. Another thing I've been finding that's funny is that some people are questioning whether Nik actually knows Dog. So that'll be interesting to see him come live with Dog on Jennifer Coffindoffer. So that'll be kind of interesting.
Yeah, he's known him since at least it looks like around 2019, just from open source stuff.
Rogue just shared with us that it's been rescheduled for the 20th at 2 on her channel.
Perfect.
Okay, good.
So good. Yeah, you guys definitely check her out.
But that last one that she did, she only talked about, it was several topics and then Sebastian, but I think it was around the 44-minute mark that she starts talking about Sebastian. It's really good. So if you want to catch that, it's a really good one. I was taking that one off. Sorry.
I was just going to say, Kelly, the OG, my birthday was yesterday. And my daughter gifted me green bulbs for our entire neighborhood. That is so sweet. That's wonderful. And also, K-Mac, happy birthday. Yeah.
And K-Mac said she ordered some green solar lights off of Amazon.
I think this is amazing, guys. I think it's a great initiative. There's just something very hopeful about it. And I love it. And then this is for our friend. Happy birthday yesterday. Well, yes, happy birthday, Kelly. That's right. I want to give her some balloons. Happy birthday.
Yeah, so I think we all kind of know what to watch this week, and it looks like all the movement and everything is going to be on like with Dog and his team and Nik and those guys. That'll be what to watch. Of course, whatever's going on with the court issues as well. What I think, my guess is that the strategy of the team is to go like a full court press, just on
boom, boom, boom,
boom, boom, boom. I think they're going to. I think every day is going to be a thing. I think that's the strategy, and they're going to get them shook up and not know what's coming next.
Just Me Sunshine says the FBI doesn't have 100K. It's 50K, and the other 50K is by a third party. I don't think that we said that incorrectly. Did we?
No.
No, we. I don't think I mentioned 100K today, but yes, 50,000 is by the FBI, and then 50,000 by essentially a combination of Nik and Dog. Yeah.
All right.
So, and that's leading to either the return of or the arrest and conviction of, or kind of the conditions on those. So
up to 50 from the FBI too. I think that was the term used, up to 50.
It is up to 50. I just don't, I don't know why that is such a sticking point for everyone.
I don't know. It's almost like, I think it's like people that don't want.
Yeah, Tanya says.
You hear this from.
Yeah, Tanya.
Yeah.
Says up to 50. I just don't understand why that's such a sticking point, because like you've said a million times, it's just the beginning of a negotiation.
It's come from a certain corner of the internet that wants to downplay the reward
or the magnitude of the reward.
For some reason, there are people that do not want this thing solved. I don't know what their motives are, but there are people that feel that way.
I know I will sleep better at night personally. So
absolutely. I want some. Yes, I think we all want answers.
Yes.
Oh, Mystic Firefly.
Another positive thing, Chris.
I love you, but we can't do that.
Will you be updating us every night this week so we can follow along?
Oh, Mystic.
Yeah, we just can't.
It's so hard for us to schedule times to do this for a
we're
variety
good
of
if we
reasons.
get 2 days a week.
Yeah, we just can't. Yes, two days a week is really about right, just for our schedule and our family.
Yes.
Another thing I wanted to mention about the lab, and I highly recommend, if you watch nothing else that's come out over the last week, the lab with Chris McDonough and Josh is fantastic.
Was great.
He was talking at one point about Summer and how that case is cold, but this case he does not believe is cold. He thinks that he's saying essentially that he believes this case is not only solvable, but going to be solved, and that there's action happening. And I don't know if he like whenever someone is a former homicide detective, whatever, you just don't know who's talking to them, but I pay attention to stuff like that. So that gives me I'm looking for reasons to hope. And that makes me hopeful that he feels that way about this case, even though he doesn't about Summer. So I think it's going to be ramping up here over the next few months, and it will not surprise me if Nik and his team are correct that this thing is wrapped up by the end of the year.
I just saw something interesting. Rogue changed her picture, and beautiful. I really like that picture. Sorry. Just wanted to say that. Okay.
Well, y'all have anything you want to say before we go tonight?
I know, it feels weird when we're not going 3 hours.
Well, this is what we used to do. We're more like 2-hour lives and that kind of thing. But did we finish the poll?
Oh, I haven't. Okay, hold on. Okay, a couple more seconds to finish the poll. Forgot all about that. All right, I'm going to end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoops.
Ooh.
Whoops.
It was a good result.
Where did it go?
I can't see it. Where did it go? Can you see it, Auntie?
On my phone, it was there, and then when you said, "Oh yes,"
okay.
Do you feel the mounting pressure will result in an arrest soon? 78% or 77% said yes, and 22% said no. We had 481 votes, so 77% yes, 22% no.
That's awesome.
So that means we're all kind of thinking this year.
And you know what? We can always count on Justice Jane in every chat. I just want to say Justice Jane is the hardest working chat person there is. In every chat, Justice Jane is always promoting what is important, which is Sebastian. Sebastian is the most important thing here.
Yeah, you're great.
We all wouldn't be here if it weren't for Sebastian. And Sebastian's the most important thing. And I love that you do this. I've meant to say it, but every chat I'm in that you're in, I see it, and I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's weird to think that this all started because of him.
Well,
and
I think we all just have grown to care so much, and care so much for him, and we all want to see him come home, and that's what's important. And then I've got a crime dog in my lap. So Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure how many of our mods are still here, but thank you, Marlena, Real Me Too, everybody that was here. Thank you so much for.
We're going to have an early
doing
night
that.
tonight. I won't
We
know what
are.
to do with that.
We'll go. K-Mac was also here. Thank you, K-Mac.
Yes,
And
K-Mac. Thank
think,
you. I don't know if Olivia was in here or not, but
I
if she was,
didn't see
thank
her.
you, Olivia.
Lady Tit for Tat. I don't know if she's still around or not, but thank you. And you guys, I know that's hard, and we appreciate it. It helps us a ton. And thank you to all the new subscribers, all the members, all the super chats.
I'm going to go through all these real
Um,
quick and say thank you again. Thank you to Hey Jude. Thank you to Lady Tit for Tat. Thank you to Ginger Girl. Thank you to Butterfly Girl, our new member. Welcome to the Crime Dogs. And another Lady Tit for Tat, another Ginger Girl, another Lady Tit for Tat for gifting a membership. Serenity 72, thank you so much for your super chat. And I feel like there's more and I'm missing them somehow. Oh, I went the wrong way. Okay. Mally Cat, thank you for gifting a membership. Tony Mathis, thank you for your super chat. Vixen 2, thank you for your super sticker. Walter's mom, thank you so much for your super chat. Alicia, thank you so much for becoming a new member again, because you were already a member, I think. Triggered, thank you for becoming a new member. Izzy Girl, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Casey, thank you for becoming a member. Tiffany, awesome. Thank you so much for gifting a membership. Ginger Girl, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Karen, thank you for becoming a new member. Breezy, thank you for a super chat and also your super sticker. Breezy is Crushing on the Sandman is one of the sweetest people in the world, I swear.
Yes.
And then Kim G, thank you for becoming a new member. We appreciate you guys so much. And you know, you don't know how much you've come to mean to all of us. I do want to say to Tiffany, because she's having a hard time getting into the Discord, I'm going to look and try to figure out how to make that work for you. And I will get to you when I can, or I'll get back to you when I can, as soon as I get it figured out. And guys, thank you so much. And thanks for, look at this, look at the chat lighting up with green hearts. That's
awesome.
wonderful for
Awesome.
Sebastian. That's wonderful.
I'm one of those.
You know,
I love seeing all the green hearts.
and, you know, consider going out and getting some green bulbs and putting them on, you know, in your windows or on your lawn. Let's light up the world for Sebastian.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Oh, the Real Me Too. Did you thank her too?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
And I see a lot of our members in here. Honesty Prevails. Crystal, thank you guys all so much. We appreciate you. Pamela, thank you guys so much. And have a great night. Oh, and Seth says, thank you to everyone for the prayers for Sebastian. We will find him. Sebastian's Army, Team Sebastian. Absolutely. Thank you for, you know, people coming in tonight. Tony Mathis, Brittany J,
Nick and
Hong. We appreciate you guys all so much. Yeah. And also Seth Rogers, we appreciate you.
And a big thanks for everyone for being polite and respectful in the chat. That's awesome. That's what we strive for every night. And we really appreciate it. And thank you so much for being respectful of everyone.
And this was beautiful. Thank you guys. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys. We'll see you all next time. Going to do our music
provided
to us by Lady Tit for Tat.
Yes. Let me do that. I have to take us off the screen. I never can remember how to do this. Okay, that's not right. Let me see. I can never remember how to do this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really bad. All right. Have a good night.
Good night.
We remember you. We remember you. Ooh. We're still here for you. We'll shine a light for you. We're holding on to hope for you. We remember you. We remember you. Ooh. We're still here for you.
Okay, we're back because I did the wrong one. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you played the old one.
I played the old one. I'm playing the new one now.
Oh,
sorry, guys.
here for you. We'll shine a light for you. We're holding on to hope for you. We remember you. We remember you. Ooh. We're still here for you. We'll shine our light for you. We're holding on to hope for you. We're holding on to hope for you. Ooh. We remember you. We remember you. We're still here for you. We'll shine our light for you. We remember you. We remember you. We're still here for you. We'll shine our light for you. We remember you. We